Okay, so kicking off the next quarterly crate, and this time we're coming direct from All City Record Store in Dublin. Long-standing record shop here, which has gone from strength to strength in recent years. How long is Olin here now? Maybe best part of 15 years, and about 10 years or so in this on this particular premises, which was a record shop before that also. But Olin has far outlasted their reign, which was about 3 or 4 years or something like that. So yeah, we're in All City, and we're going to be. It could be a slightly shortened version this time. I'm not sure. We want to kind of keep it a little bit snappier. I know I go for 3 hours plus sometimes, so we'll see how we go this time. First up is an old one by Joey Beltram. It's actually reissued. It's called Aonox, and it's a. I suppose if I can paint a picture, it came out in 1994, which wouldn't have been too long after Selected Ambient Works 2. In fact, it could have been around the same time, but certainly Selected Ambient Works 1, the first one by Aphex Twin. Sorry, just get my level right here. But the first one by Aphex Twin would have come out not too long before this, and you can definitely hear an influence throughout this whole album. This is one of the, it's the A1 track called South Pacific, which some people might know. Very dark and haunting, and definitely, definitely you can hear that sort of dark, haunting style that he had that you would have heard in Energy Flash and records like that he brought out around the same time or a little bit before. Well, actually Energy Flash would have been, what, 3-4 years before this? Now Beltram is still quite active, but he's one of those producers now that you just wonder, is he gonna come back to doing the good stuff again? I don't know. Nice broken rhythms. So this one, all slow stuff. You're not necessarily going to be playing these at the peak of the night. On the contrary, you more than likely won't. Yeah, certainly an essential record to have in your collection by Joey Beltram. He's put out so much, but a lot of people mightn't be all aware of some of his earlier stuff. And actually another tip from this era as well is direct. I think he might have only done one record, or did he do two? But they certainly got reissued onto other labels like R.A.S.P. But he did some good electro back then as well, actually. And you could definitely compare this to early Warp. And while we're introing this new episode, we're also doing a raffle here today. We're marking this very special occasion of doing the quarterly crate in All City, so we have some great prizes up for grabs. I think the Ferrero Rocher will be third place. I was trying to get a tin of biscuits, and believe it or not, it's really hard to get tins of biscuits, even in Tesco. Yeah, you can't get tins of biscuits. I think you can only really get them from October onwards as it's leading up to Christmas, but apparently people don't want tins of biscuits any other time of the year. But what I did manage to get in Tesco, albeit another Tesco, was a bottle of Blue Nun, which will be our second place as well. Not in the old school Blue Nun bottle that some of you might know, the kind of stained, they were kind of like bluey, greeny coloured, bluey, I guess, frosted bottles. You can't get those anymore, and I was quite disappointed to see this bottle yesterday, because it actually looks like still water rather than wine, but it actually is fruity wine. And then top prize today will be a bottle of Jheri, A Winter's Tale, which you could drink or give to your mother or your auntie or anything like that. So that'll be so if you want to get tickets, you can get them direct from Olin. I was going to actually sell them directly myself, but I think that could be taken on a little bit too much, and they're a bargain at 5 tickets for €1. Where else would you get it? So yeah, get involved, get some tickets, and we'll be announcing the winners later on. Yeah, so I don't really need to play this Beltram one for much longer. Basically, it's the shit. You have to have it in your collection, and yeah, the D side is more the same. Right, moving on, and this is an in-house label called Jheri Tracks, who have been putting out quite a few records of late. When did the label start, actually, guys? About a year ago, was it? Year and a half, yeah. And especially supporting local producers, some established, some not so established, and a range of internationals on it too, I believe. There is a bunch of various artist records that are dropping right at the moment as well. Watch out for that. This one is by Lumigraph, who has had a fair few records out in recent years. It's the first thing I saw by him in a while, though. Lumigraph, who's also involved with the Major Problems crew, based here in Dublin as well. Yeah, tough but melodic. Pitch it back a little bit. I kind of naturally pitch up the decks a lot when I'm playing. Sometimes it's necessary to bring it back to get the full feeling of the track. A bit lighter and deeper on the inside. Now we're going on to the flip. Okay, hang on a sec. So this is a various artist one. So I thought it was because I was looking at the thing and said Lumigraph on it. So I thought the old EP that was the Lumigraph one, right? Oh, this is Lumigraph, right? Okay. So the first one on the other side was Cailin and Ambrosius. Oh, Tyler Ambrosius. Okay. This one is Lumigraph. Breaky business on this one, stuff. And then moving on, we've got LMM here. Just gonna go on a deeper tip on this one. Yeah, kind of Detroit tinged cut. I'm trying desperately to read the names here. What's going around is really hard. And then Mangetou with a more restrained effort on the inside. Nice bunch of tunes on this, 5 in total as well. Goes off on one at the end. So to end that side. So that's that's one of the most recent Jheri Tracks releases, which is out now. It actually is out, is it? It's fully out everywhere. Yeah. Okay, go and grab that one. Right, moving on. We've got a producer here, otherwise known as Ambivalent, but LA4A is the name he goes under for these releases that he's been doing. And this is on his own label, Delft, and they're quickly up to number 15 actually. They've been shooting them back out, and I notice as well they've got the nice Delft, the old sleeves that they were using that disappeared for a while. So maybe they've, I don't know, maybe they found a few, or maybe the last few records have been selling exceedingly well. But they're back with the distinctive sleeves again, which is good to see. This one's a little bit more of an electro offering, good zappy kind of stuff. And you know, we talk a lot about DJ Tule techno, but there is, here and there some nice records that are kind of DJ Tule Electro. There's not big riffs, there's not always even big bass lines, but there's a good bit of bass and there's a nice rhythm. And yeah, these kind of ones are perfect for me for DJing sometimes. Moving on to the inside, more acidy number. Yeah, smart job by him. And actually, if you heard his album, you would have heard a lot of trio trees in it. You would have heard a lot of trio trees in it. Certainly, there's a Plastic Man influence, and that isn't a coincidence, seeing as Ambivalent has appeared on Minus. Did a number of records on that in the past. But yeah, it definitely has his own style going on. Now onto the flip. Let me see. Strip back stuff here, but making way for a nice vocal there. Vocal sample. Some trademark acids. And then the inside, then we've got this one. Yeah, solid job from LA4A, and I'd actually say his records are getting even better. They're getting better every time. Delft is really, it's one of those sort of buy on site labels. I think I have practically every release so far. And here's someone else who I've talked about being a buy on site artist in the past, is Monolake, aka Robert Henke. Now he's racking them up as well. It's funny with some of these guys, they you know, how on earth does he have 33 records out so far? It's like you don't see them coming, but they 33. Wow, that's a lot. And all these records, kind of, this label started after he was long established. Really, he was at that point probably even known as the Ableton guy, and he's had 33 records since that on computer Imbalance music, or Imbalance computer music at least. So as ever, the rhythms are a little bit more broken. This one is, dare I say, yeah, a little bit deeper. Maybe even not a million miles away from the kind of basic channel sound. Yeah, you can never go wrong with a Monolake record. Now onto the next, onto the flip. Yeah, more broken rhythms. Yeah, the inside cut actually could be the diamond in the pack actually. Cool. We've got it in a nice little system here for where to put the records, because sometimes where we normally record it, it can kind of just sometimes feel a bit awkward of putting them, but here we've a nice little, this is, you know, purpose built, purpose made for this kind of thing. We actually are in a real life record store. It's a nice one. You know, it's funny with some of Monolake stuff. You listen to it at first and you go, yeah, cool. Like, taking each record on their own they're not always the most remarkable records that you'll be, you know, you're not going to be humming them to yourself necessarily when you're having a shower or something, but at the same time they're very useful for DJing with, and they're the kind of ones that when you come back to, you can easily come back to these 10 or 15 years and they're going to sound fresh, they're going to sound crisp. There's a few producers that are kind of at his production level as well, so he's a good example of someone who can sometimes have simple enough tracks, but his production is just on another level. His use of effects, his use of the stereo field, there's lots of little factors that make his tunes kind of stand above other people's. All very kind of, it's a very kind of relaxed nature to the way he arranges stuff as well. It's just everything kind of seeps in and out very subtly. So yeah, so that's the new Monolake. I can't remember if I had this Freddie Fresh one on the last one, to be honest. I had a few by him on it. I don't think I had this one on it though. And listen, I don't, you know, any excuse to really play Freddie Fresh record, because, you know, I'm very, very happy to see him come back into the techno scene. I remember a number of years back kind of posing that question to a few people and to heads that knew him as well. Would he do some techno again? And yeah, he slowly got back into it, and he's actually putting out stuff. Now these are some old tracks, and it's on a label I think called Forest Nostalgia. Yeah, it is. Freddy is an absolute don. He's one of my favourite all-time producers by a country mile, really. Yeah, maybe my favourite all-time techno producer. I don't know, quite possibly, yeah. If you're not familiar with Freddy, you know, go and do a little bit of research on this guy. You know, in ways, while he's very important to the techno scene, he's also quite important to the rap and hip hop scene in ways. He's written books. He's the ultimate record collector himself. But this guy is going for many years. He'd be into his 50s now. I'm sure he won't mind me saying that. But you know, this guy is around for a long time. He's a lot of history. He's a don basically, and it's good to see him. Now these are old tracks, but there is a lot of new stuff he's making as well, also under the name the Modulator. Oh yeah, the rap records. This is the second edition revised, so he actually went back and did another version of it. So if we can pick that up on the camera, yeah, Freddie Fresh presents. So yeah, a guy with a lot of history and a lot of knowledge. And an all-round gent as well, as we said. Doing the Midwest crowd. It's a more hypnotic one. Like some of the acid that he's done, some of it's quite trippy, but then he also does the really heavy ass stuff that he used to do on Labworks and some of these labels that would be 150 BPM distorted stuff. And you hear some people that are making some of that sound now, and you know, it's not bad, some of it, but really it's very, very hard to equal the original wave of that stuff, and he was definitely one of the main proponents of that back then. Yeah, overall I think this record's a little bit more laid back than some of the other acid stuff that he's done. What a nice selection, and he's got a lot in the vaults. Now let's see. Start flying through a few of these now. As usual, I'm getting through this slower than I probably need to be. Could be looking at another epic episode, but let's go for the 2 hours. Let's see if that happens. Let's see if that's possible. You never know. that's Freddy. Now moving on, we've got who do we have here? We've got Nihad's Tule. I'm sure I've got the pronunciation very wrong, but Nihad Tule. I don't know. Yeah, really good Swedish producer who's been putting stuff out for a good few years now. He also does stuff with Bowery, actually, who some of you might remember from some of his, I guess, more electronica-based releases from the early 2000s. But then, yeah, Bowery got a little bit more into making techno, and he's collaborated a little bit with this guy, Nihad Tule. In fact, I think they might have had a record out on Drumcode a number of years back, but this, yeah, I don't think they release on that label anymore now. This one is called Sloboda, is the name of the label, and it's mostly for Nihad Tule's own productions. He's had a few nice ones out actually that are kind of on a Robert Hood tip as well. They're minimalist kind of stuff, good DJ Tule records. Now onto the flip. Kind of like a, yeah, Millsy, slightly bleepy kind of thing. Yeah, like it has to be said, there's a lot of records like this around at the moment, but yeah, but this guy does it fairly well, I think, and it's nice as well that he's using up a full side for some of these tracks, because they will sound a little bit fatter, especially on the sound system. Quite a lot of depth in there. Okay, so that's that one on Sloboda is the name of the label, I think. Right, moving on, we've got one from Echoplex. Are there any remixes on this? I don't think so. Echoplex is a Polish producer. He's been going for quite a few years. He's had some stuff out on Sine Wave on Damon Wiles' label. And he's been kind of keeping busy for quite a few years. He's come back a little bit in recent times. Yeah, I met him not so long ago. He lives in Scotland, and through living in Scotland, he's actually picked up a bit of a Scottish accent, and he sounds a little bit like Sean Connery, actually. I think I might have told him that. But yeah, Echoplex. This is his new one on R.A.S.P. It's actually out a little while, and it's slightly crackly because I've been playing it already. Needs a slight clean, possibly. DJ Tule stuff, but that gets melodic as the tunes progress. This one's a little bit more of a baiter, actually. But again, kind of develops a little bit of tension in there, which is sometimes missing in harder edge techno. Yeah, I think this is the one I've been playing off, but actually I quite like this one. Loads happening in it, but it's a nice rhythm. Nice little layers in there. So that's Echoplex, and that's on R.A.S.P. It says R.A.S.P. Collective, like there's a bunch of R.A.S.P.-based labels at the moment. Now this one isn't actually in its original cover, I don't think. It's in a black cover, but you're not really missing much with the cover because it's actually just a see-through PVC thing. So, but this one is by Dimi Angelis on Falling Ethics, which is Pearl's label out of Spain. Yeah, Dimi has a very distinct sound. On the kind of harder edged, looped stuff these days, he's definitely one of my favourites. Sounds a little bit old school, some of it. Done very well. It's a bit more jagged and distorted. He also does stuff with your own search. Some of you might be aware of him too. Some of his has been doing music for many years, but they've been doing stuff together, I think, maybe for the last, I don't know, 10. I think they're also doing stuff under the name Counterpart, or they were anyway. A lot of their productions now together come out with their, each of their names rather than a joint collaboration name. But yeah, Dimi and Angelis, I think that one and the first one on the other side are probably my favourites, but definitely kind of Birmingham influenced as well. A little bit of a Regis Surgeon vibe on some of them. Next one up is one on Avian, and this one is by Sean O'Sullivan under his alias 400 ppm. Yeah, and Avian is one of those kind of, it's a very serious techno label, but it keeps a kind of consistency. For a little while, some of the records for me started to get a little samey. I did get a little bit bored of the label, I gotta say. But the recent stuff I've been hearing, I've been really enjoying actually. And this one is by Sean O'Sullivan, as I said. There's one as well by Blauen not so long ago, under the name Cailin, which was another good one. And I think it was he did a couple, didn't he? Yeah, Cailin was the one he did that under. And then of course there's been a bunch of stuff by Shifting on that label too. But I think this album by Sean O'Sullivan is it's just a really nice range of sounds. Some of you might have seen an interview he did on R.A.S.P recently. I didn't actually read it fully yet, but I kind of had a bit of a scan and just seems to be talking a lot about using a modular and stuff like that. So presumably most of this album was done on a modular. It's a funny one. A lot of people talk about this, about what they use and all the rest. I guess with social, maybe not social media, but just with the internet being our main kind of source of info these days, and maybe with techno coming back to being, I don't know, hardware based rather than computer based. A lot of people have a kind of a new story to tell now, or there's new stuff to talk about. It could be argued in certain ways that we don't really need to know what anybody uses, but it still is interesting. There was a time when certain acts, I remember Dave Clark being one in an interview. He was asked what his setup was and stuff, and he wouldn't give it. He was just like, I'm not telling you. If I tell you what I'm using, you'll be able to sound like me. But a lot of other producers are a bit more free with the kind of info that they give out these days, because it's also a source of promotion as well, I guess. Nice kind of vocally one, that's on the A side. Moving on to the flip, and there's three tracks in this. I think there's 10 altogether, because I've been thinking a little bit about this recently, about what constitutes an album, a techno album, because a lot of people will complain that like a lot of techno albums are just like 8 club tracks or like a double pack, and to kind of counteract that, a lot of acts will throw in a sort of a token ambient tune, as if, you know, that's really their vibe, when to be honest they were probably scrambling to go and say, fuck, I've got to put, this is an album, I better put an ambient track on this to make it seem like it's an album. And there has been a little bit of that over the years, but yeah, it's I think on this one it's 10, and I don't know, I've been thinking about this recently, and I've been just kind of looking at albums and seeing how many tracks they have on them. In this case it's got 10, and I think between 8 and 10 is still good. Obviously a lot of albums still might have the 8 on the vinyl, but can have more on a CD version. So yeah, so some unusual rhythms on this actually. I think this is, and it gets back to what I'm saying about albums. What is an album? Is an album something that a techno album, is it something that can it be just something that's for the club? If it's just for the club, should it be called a double pack? Should an album be for listening to at home, for listening to in your headphones or in your armchair, or you know, who knows? But there is that argument as to what constitutes one. I think this would make nice listening. material as well. Right, so that's yeah, getting on to the next. Lower actually, volume doesn't have as much punch, that one. Interesting kind of vocal loop passage going over the top though. Yeah, some interesting sequences in this. It does sound to me as well like he possibly made quite a few tracks here as well, because like a lot of them do sound like jams, and like, you know, you could do a number of jams and they're not all going to come out as good as the next, but you know, it sounds like he hit gold on a few of these. You know, this is yeah, it's a nice little cut here. We've got live vocals from Defect here in the background as well. Now getting on to the C1. Yeah, some kind of darker drones here. Yeah, I'm liking this one. I like the way this is EQ'd as well. It could be really bright and, you know, very toppy, but overall it's just a nice kind of defined sound on it. Sometimes tracks like this, if they're a little bit slightly punchier, a bit more top ends, they can, you know, they're obviously makes them a little bit stand out a little bit more when you're playing them out. But there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of weight behind these as well. So you can certainly find a few that will do the business on the sound system. So that's 440 PM or 400 ppm at least. So one is by DJ Spider, who is New York producer, I believe. He's been doing quite interesting, hard-edged kind of stuff. He also does some sort of kind of houseier sort of stuff too, certainly in his rhythms and that, but they've always kind of got a more a quite substantial sort of low end and kick in them, and they kind of in a way then just morph into these kind of heavier techno tunes, but they're always quite rhythmic. As well, there's like I mentioned earlier, there's some great prizes up for grabs here today. Box of Ferrero Rocher, bottle of Blue Nun, top prize bottle of sherry, 5 tickets for €1 off Olin at the desk. Bargain. Could go home with something very nice there. Stuff. Always a lot of atmosphere in them. thing. I'm sure if a lot of techno producers had to do an album and they had one of those tracks, they'd be like, perfect intro. Yeah, overall, quite dark sounding stuff. It's kind of a darker sound palette for sure. Always enjoying his rhythms. Oh shit, I actually forgot to mention the label, and I've been doing that. I've probably done that the last few. No, I haven't. I did for this one. So this one's by DJ Spider, and it's on. Oh, and there's a remix on this, a Personal Mythologies remix. Is that this one? I'm not sure, but it's on a label called Hooded, I think. Hooded 002. Don't know if that's the full name of the label, but it appears like it might be. But yeah, your man, or woman, Personal Mythologies is on the flip. Urban Warfare remix by Personal Mythologies. There's actually not a track list on the record sleeve itself, but yeah, you can do your homework and find out on that one. And this one then is a lot slower, so it's an interesting little mix of tunes on this. So yeah, that's DJ Spider, and it's on a label that we think is called Hooded. Next up is one by Lerosa, an honorary Dubliner. He's actually Italian, but he's lived here for many years. This one is on Idle Hands, the Bristol label, and Shop too, I think. Is it still a Shop? Idle Hands is still going strong. Electro business on this one, and actually not everyone might have Leo's first record, but his first record on D1 back in the 2000s was a largely electro one as well. Tracks are so slow, I'll test them. And now I know this is meant to be a 33, but let's try it at 45. Yeah, it's not beyond the realms of. I actually kind of like it at that, I gotta say. And on if you're using like Technics Mark 5Gs or something, you could bring that back a little bit further and be perfect. But let's go back to the original tempo, which I think it's meant to be at. Dubbier offering on the inside. And this is the thing sometimes, I gotta say, like there's producers that, you know, have a really good run of records, and then a load of other producers come along, and then it's kind of sometimes it's not like you forget about the name, but like Leo's still been tapping away and doing stuff, and then a new release comes along and you go, oh fuck yeah, Leo is really good. He's putting out really strong records. He did have that one on Osculton, or he had a record, he had a track on their on a various artist thing one time, and I remember that probably brought a lot of exposure. But he did have a lot of other records out. He Jheri, he was on Millions of Moments. But yeah, it's like sometimes when some of these producers, they're not on some of the hypier kind of labels of the time. They fall out of people's consciousness a little bit, even though they're still putting out great records. Like the one he put out in Apartments is an absolute killer. It came out about 5 years ago, but you know, certainly Leo still very much has it. It's going on idle hands, like I said. It's not out too long, I don't think. Now moving on to this, which was a present for me. This was these are some guys actually. I was doing a gig in Spain, and it was actually it's this funny kind of place because it was beside the sea, so there was kind of like boats docked at the place and stuff, and it was almost like a I don't know what kind of place. It was almost like a restaurant, but then it had this bar and this big area where they kind of had the dance floor and stuff. And it was a really great spot actually. But some of the guys that were playing there that night were running a label. They gave me this. What's the name of the label actually? It's called. This is NVO. Voidloss is on this. Some of you might know his stuff from before. Dirty Bass was the name he used to go under. Right, so it's just one track per side on this. You know what? I want to pronounce the place in Spain, but it's my Spanish pronunciation is rubbish. But oh yeah, was that one in La Coruña? There, that's not too bad. But yeah, that's where it was. Yeah, that wasn't so bad. No, it's another place near there that I make a bit of a hames of when I say it. But yeah, this one was in La Coruña, and I think this crew must be from there. This tune I think is by Mike Undersound. Oh, maybe Undersound's the name of the label. I don't know. New Vinyl Order is the name. Oh right, this must be the Dirty Bass one actually, or the Voidloss one. Some, industrial broken rhythms from him. Very much a kind of a DJ tool. This one there's not. Oh yeah, now we've got a little bit more atmosphere into it. So that's on a New Vinyl Order. Thanks to the guys for that one. And then this next one is on Tripalium Rave series.
We don't want anything to scare your children. 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 We don't want anything.
Probably the pick of the lot for me. This one's by Drug Culture, by the way. It's on Tripalium Rave series. And some of you might remember or know of his other one that's out around now too, which came out in Power Vacuum a little while ago. There's 4 tracks on this one though, whereas there was only 2 on the other. It's all good stuff though. Yeah, so very much in the alternate school of rave. Yeah, but there still is a bunch of stuff like this coming out these days, which kind of hark back to the old Belgian R.A.S.P kind of days, early days as well. And like they'll have a break beat, but then they'll kind of go into a more straight ahead 4/4 beat. But yeah, that one is by Drug Culture, as I said. try to whiz through a few of these. So that's on Tripalium something or other. Acid series. Tripalium. Let's see. Rave series. Sorry, probably already said that actually. Next up, and I don't think I played this on the show before. This one is on Blockhouse. This tune is by Nihad. Could we go as far as calling her the first lady of French techno? I think she is. I think we could actually. She's made amazing strides in the last couple of years, especially since she started putting out some records. Then on to the next is Cast. Blockhouse number 2. I don't think we played. I'm pretty sure we didn't play this one before. I think I'm just quite familiar with it because I've been playing. We played some of the tracks. Seems like I've played it on this before, but I don't think I have. This one is by Zadig. Cool, nice elements in there. Let me see who that's by. That was by Zadig, and then AWB is on the inside. Or broken rhythms offering. Oh yeah, nice one. Vocal that comes in. So that's Blockhouse series. You might know Blockhouse from some of their events that they put on in Paris. They've been keeping Paris safe for the last, I guess, 5 years or something like that now. Farouk and Mehdi run a tight ship there. And they've got another one out soon actually, which hopefully be able to play on this soon. This one is by R.A.S.P. Not sure who R.A.S.P is. Yeah, a quite functional techno thing. But then, oh yeah, should we highlight that bit? Pretty slamming kind of stuff. And one really good thing about Blueprint over the last few years is they have branched out and started putting out a lot of new artists. Actually, Romek is another guy. Actually, and I'm meant to have his record for this, and I don't have it. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But this one is by R.A.S.P. But yeah, Romek, and obviously Lacquer as well. A few years back too, they released a Blueprint. But certainly James Ruskin has opened it up for a lot of new blood. In the early days, it was very much him, Richard Polson, Oliver Ho. But nowadays, there's a lot of people involved, and you'll notice even through the compilation that they put out a while ago. I think it was a triple pack or quadruple pack. Yeah, there's a lot of people in that family now, you know, which is good to see. It's a bit deeper. Well, is it deeper actually? It's sometimes when you're comparing against another tune, it might come across it's a kind of perceived deepness when you compare it against something else. But yeah, maybe deep's even the wrong word, but certainly against the other main side, the track on the other side would be. So this is R.A.S.P. and some Blueprint, as I said. A little bit more of a riff on this. gem actually on this. And something that I hear from a lot of people actually who have been who say that when they bought a record the first time around, and it's true, you'll tend to go for the A1 or the B1 in a lot of cases. They're usually picked to be the most instant tracks or the bigger tracks, but quite often you end up going back to the A2 when it's long term. When you're coming back to that record in the future, you'll often discover an A2 or a B2 and go, oh fuck, this one, yeah, Jesus, and then you start playing that one, but I think that last record could be a little bit like that. This one is by Delta Function, and who's been kind of tapping away for the last, I don't know, 5 years or something like that, and he's been putting out a fairly impressive discography. He's not even somebody who I regard as like, he's probably prolific in that he makes a lot in the studio, but he's certainly not. He's not like banging them out every 5 minutes. Just to get his name out there. Everything he puts out is quality, really, you know. And he started a new label not so long ago called Radio Matrix, and this is an album that he's put out on it, and it's called Junior High School Excursion to the Parallel World. It's quite a mouthful. Some really nice artwork on this one as well, actually. He does a good range of stuff, actually. He's somebody that sees techno and electro. He sees the bigger picture, I think. There's he can make. I've heard him make some pretty balls to the wall techno stuff. I've heard him make some much deeper stuff. I've heard him make some really killer electro as well. And I think we have some of those shades offering this on offer on this one, please. A bit Steraki actually. Now moving on to that. Oh shit. Let me see. This one. Actually, speaking of Freddie Fresh earlier, it's something that wouldn't have sounded out of place on an old analog record of his. And a nice proper ride cymbal there. Delta Function. It's just a nice little twist. It does sound as well like he's using machines, but he's also getting using the benefits of computer and software a little bit too, because there's always a nice little bit of added detail and arrangement that goes on in his tracks. He's certainly not a live jams kind of guy. While he might jam some of these out, I don't know, I'm just surmising, but while some of these could come directly from jams, he's definitely putting a good bit of time into the arrangement and production and all that kind of stuff as well. Well, to my ears anyway. And the tickets are flying out now, it seems, just from looking over. We've got a little bit of a queue developing here for raffle tickets, so we're getting fast. Anyway, back to Delta. So, pulsing groove with these searing effects, getting through it. Really good stuff. Earlier about him doing some electro stuff as well. It's no surprise that he opens up the next side. Yeah, nice stuff there. Yeah, another bit of a pounder on this one. But again, it develops, albeit maybe not as much as the other ones, but still it does develop. And I like this as well because it's quite hard hitting, but it's not overly fast. Shades of maybe some heavier Drvg moments. Yeah, lovely bass there. Yeah, overall a really smart job from him. And I'm sure if that's getting reviewed anywhere, it'll be well, it certainly deserves to be getting a good score. There's a hell of a lot of stuff now. I don't know, I haven't seen. I don't always look out for reviews and stuff, but there, you know, when I do see reviews, one of the things, well, it's rather I don't see a lot of stuff reviewed. There's a hell of a lot of stuff that just flies under the radar. It's kind of like, oh right, pay for press and you'll get mentions, but don't, and journos won't tend to do much digging, you know. And it's something I respect a lot of journalists out there. I think there's some really great writers, but one observation I've got about this is that I'd really love to know how much time a lot of writers put into going out and digging for music. I'd love to see a lot of writers' record collections actually, because I do believe that there's a hell of a lot of stuff that's just not being found, not being picked up on. It's PR company stuff that's sent directly to them, and you know they've probably got so much stuff to wade through. But I think it's something, and if there's any writers listening now, you know, think about that one. You know what I mean? Put a percentage into your reviews that didn't come directly from a PR company. I'm sure many do, you know, and I don't even need to be saying it to anyone, but certainly there's a hell of a lot of stuff that flies under the radar nowadays that really gets no airplay, gets no nothing, doesn't get any kind of mention. There's people that are doing their own original thing, and there's not a chance that you'd ever see a review of them anywhere. And I think there's a huge responsibility that lies with a lot of these popular online sites and with the writers themselves to just dig that little bit more. You know, buy a few records. You know, don't just review files that got sent to you. You know, maybe some of these record labels aren't even thinking that you'd review their stuff, but you know, of course they would be delighted if you did. You know, and it's you know, there's a big responsibility with writers now more than ever to put extra effort into this, you know. And it's no knock to writers in general. There's, like I said, there's plenty of great writers. In fact, most of the stuff that makes its way online onto any of the kind of reputable sites and blogs and all the rest, it's all really good stuff. But I find that the kind of stuff that will pop up, you know, it will be on blogs, it will be on more independent stuff, you know, because it's that those are the people that are going into the record shops, getting this stuff themselves and going, here, I really like this shit. Whereas it's not to say writers on other platforms aren't doing that too, but there's a lot more stuff fed to them that they have to review or they feel obliged to review or whatever. But you know, if you're a writer, just set a percentage and try and stick to it. You know, it's the only way to really move this music and move this scene to where it should be, I believe. Argentinian label actually. Why the Delta Functioning release kind of reminded me or made me think of some of that stuff. I guess he's not somebody, he's someone that's kind of around and you know his name and stuff, but he's not necessarily someone that's kind of heavily promoted or that, I'm sure he has plenty of his stuff reviewed around the internet, but for somebody who is making stuff of the quality that he is, he's certainly someone that you should be hearing, that should be shouted about more, definitely, if you're one of the best producers in the game, that should be getting said, should be getting said a lot. This one is par, as I said, nice little beatless thing here at the end. Oh, and there was actually a little opener here as well, which I missed. Par Grinvik's been doing stuff for quite a long time. He's been he actually used to run the illegal Stockholm record shop back in the day in the 90s. So he's doing that kind of hypnotic kind of loopy thing, but with some really good atmospheres running through them. Well, you can hear kind of sturdier kind of percussion coming in, but it isn't getting too clogged. It's a kind of a thing that can be easy to do as you bring new elements in. You leave the old ones in, and then it can become a little bit of a messy mix. But no, this one is quite nicely done by him. So I think the whole 2-hour thing is out the window. That's not going to happen. We'll be lucky to do this in 3, but let's see. I always aim for. I always want to do it in less time. I don't be boring anyone. I'm not bored personally, so I don't really care. But other people might, might be. But I don't know. Like I remember, I think I've said it before in this when we started doing this at the beginning. It was like. I think the first one was barely an hour, and a couple of people were like, "Oh, would you not make it shorter?" And it's just like, it's not that easy to do, really. If you're trying to give each record and that's another thing. This is one of the most stupid things I've ever heard from people. Right when they start going, "Oh, play the tracks for longer." What do you want me to do? To play the whole track? If I was to play for longer and spend 5 minutes, or as I do actually on some already, but let's say I was to play them for longer and play like 10 minutes per record, how long do you think we'd be here for? Do you know what I mean? So think of that one, if you think I should be playing these for longer. Anyway, it's madness, but anyway, yeah. What? 14 hours. What? Oh, it would take 14. Yeah, it would take 14 hours to do that, and that's a kind of conservative estimate at what would be like a fairly long play of each record, longer than what I'm doing now. Yeah, it'll take 14 hours. So if you want a 14-hour version, well, I don't want to do 14 hours actually. 3-ish is fine. And this is another thing. I realised that by doing shorter ones, it actually makes it more digestible. It's sort of in today's age of social media and web content's getting shared around and stuff. It would be in our interest to make these a little bit shorter actually. But yeah, they just have to go the way they go. Did I already play this one? Yes, I did already play this one. I go, well, see, this is what happens, But right, so moving on, we got I played hand dance. Did I play that one in the last one? Let me see. Oh yeah, this one, Lost Property. I'm not too sure who this is actually. Quite an American sound actually. Almost sounds like an old, like kind of a UR electro track or something. Changes a little bit there. Number one, and I don't know who the producer is, it just says Lost Property on it. This one is by Ibrahim Alpha. There's a good interview with Ibrahim Alpha on Vice, actually, some by Joe Muggs about a year or two ago. Of course, Vice had to have this stupid headline on it saying, referring to him being a jailbird or something. Like he was, I think he was in jail for something or other. But of course they couldn't say like the comeback of, you know, the great Ibrahim Alpha who did techno in the 90s. It was like the first thing was like jailbird producer or something. I suppose it might have got extra hits and all the rest, but yeah, whatever. But it was quite a good piece actually, by Joe Muggs. But yeah, Ibrahim Alpha did stuff. Did he do stuff on DJax? I'm trying to think. No, Force Inc. I think he did stuff on. But he also did the rounds of some of the other kind of Brighton-based labels, or he was on Mosquito. Might have been on Neue Heimat. I can't remember. There was such a big kind of crew of those producers at one point, like from Subhead to Cybeg to Christian Vogel to Tobias Schmidt, Dave Torita, all of these guys whose records are fairly timeless, and it's no coincidence that there's some new labels putting out stuff of Ibrahim Alpha's. In fact, I think Workshop might have done something of his. I don't think this is the Workshop release, but I'm pretty sure they re-released some of his stuff recently as well. So it's good to see. I'm not even too sure if these are new or old tracks. They sound old. They sound they sound kind of Christian Vogel-y. Certainly sound like they're from that era. Kind of like a warped version of Mr. Fingers. Ibrahim Alpha. I'm trying to get what the label is called. It's Wicked Bass is the name of the label. Now moving on. This one is by Blue Hour. I almost feel too relaxed in the record shop here. I think this is why this is maybe possibly turning into an epic edition lengthwise. But so this one is some remixes of Blue Hour. Is this the Mark Broom one or is it the Pangea one? I'm not sure. It's hard to know. Let's see. That's the B. So let me see. That's the B one. Okay, so that's the Pangea one, and then that was the 4C118 remix. So this one's the Mark Broom one. Yeah, which sounds a bit like Mark Broom, alright. Always has a quite classic sound. Even the stuff he was doing in the late 90s, even on labels like D1 as well, it definitely had this kind of sound to it. Okay, so you kind of know what that one does now. And then this is the Substance remix. Some nice kind of sound design on this. Some little echoed bits. Of a strain can definitely make a lot of things sound quite classic sounding. So that's that's the Substance remix, I think, or is that the 4C118? Oh, I don't know. Sorry, I'm in it hangs of that one. I'm not sure if that is it. Let me see. Doesn't have it on it. Oh yeah, that's the. Yeah, no, that was the Substance one. Yeah, cool. Okay, next up is one on Luke Eargoggle's label called Still Eben, and this is by The Hacker. Yeah, The Hacker's been on a little bit of a comeback recently. He's also doing stuff under his own surname, Amato, and he's been doing stuff on City Tracks, Minimal Wave sub-label. Well, this one, like I said, is on Still Eben. Luke Eargoggles. It's pretty classic. I wouldn't go as far as saying it's featureless, but it's certainly not as rich as some of his other tunes. There's not as many. There's no real riff or anything to report on the first half of the tune. There's a little bit of a change, but yeah, all very classic stuff. Yeah, good. Like I was saying earlier, it's nice to have some of these kind of DJ Tule Electro tracks. You know, that is their purpose. You know, they're not meant to be overly complicated. Nice one. Scurry in the house there buying some records. One of the pioneers of house and techno in Dublin. almost not too dissimilar to some of the stuff old Terrell used to do actually. Those little drum rolls. And back to serious stuff here. We got happy for a while there, but we're back in the zone now. Dark zone, that is. Yeah, so that's a new one by the Hacker, as I said, on Still Even. Solid Electro label. Let's see. Yeah, I've had a lot of people ask me about this one. Yeah, practically any time I played it, kind of get asked what it is. It's by Oh Jesus, yeah. How many times have I tried saying his name? Let me see. I'm gonna try. No, I'm not gonna tell. I'm gonna think about it for a second. Scalamaria. There, Scalamaria. Got it. I think. Scalamaria. This one is by Scalamaria. I'm gonna keep saying Scalamaria now because I feel pretty great about getting pronunciation right. So Scalamaria. This is well, I think I got it anyway. This is a new one by him on Them Records out of London, who run the record shop there called Container Records. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. It's kind of like it's almost like some of it's a little bit like the old Slovak sound actually. Something a lot more modern though about the sound design. Yeah, he's a cool guy actually. Out a little while. I literally just missed it the last time. I think I just got it, or it arrived in the post literally the next day or something ridiculous. Or no, I had it with me and I didn't something or other. Anyway, but I should have really had this on the last episode. It's definitely out a little while at this point. Some of the edits aren't a million miles away from the kind of way that DJ Boss used to do a style like this as well, yeah. But yeah, Scalamaria definitely has his own thing going on, and that was out on Them Records, as I said. There, this one is by Lory D, and it's on Numbers, and this is Strange Days Volume 5. So this is yeah, quite a few volumes so far. Yeah, I think the Numbers crew kind of brought Lory D back to life, back into people's consciousness again. He had been doing a hell of a lot of stuff in the 90s, and then disappeared for a while. He has been gigging a bit, but maybe not as much. I don't know. I remember the first time I went to Rome, maybe about 4 years ago or something. He was yeah, he's this kind of like urban legend, but it was almost like sometimes he'd be meant to be playing a gig, but then he wouldn't maybe show and stuff like that, and maybe people didn't quite know what he was at exactly. But the last few years, and certainly through all these releases on Numbers, he's got out there. He did a Boiler Room last year, and yeah, he seems to be playing more shows and stuff. This one actually isn't as intense as some of the other ones, because he had a few kind of like acid bangers on some of them. This is kind of more swingier stuff that could work in a range of sets actually, but a little bit more of a DJ tool really. Yeah, back to the acid though here. Sometimes as well with some of Lory D's stuff is it's kind of going back to partially what I was saying about Monolake earlier as well. His level of production is so good that it can make like a simple idea just really come alive. You know, sonically these tracks are gonna be exceptionally powerful when you play them out. You know, whereas in the hands of the same elements in the hands of another producer, they wouldn't come out quite as well. You know, but certainly production is very, very, very strong. Yeah, like not even low to that tune, but you know it's gonna kick if you play it. Yeah, we're starting to get through them a little bit now, I think. I hope. Yeah, this seems to be the kind of slightly different one on it, you know, it's not, see the acids always makes it sound kind of traditional sounding or something, but this just has a few different elements. Yeah, it's a nice addition actually to the series. It's in ways it's not as instant as some of the others. This sounds a bit like Plaid actually. Sounds like somebody could have banged out very quickly, but it's a nice one though all the same. Yeah, good stuff. Moving on. Oh yeah, one by Christopher Joseph, who's one of my favourite new producers. He's an American chap living in Berlin. Definitely one. Well, it's funny because when you say one for the future, it's as if like they're not doing anything now. But he's been slowly kind of getting them out on his own label, Flex Seal, and a lot of it's kind of harder edge. But there's been a fair range of stuff that he's done so far. Some of it kind of quite balls to the wall, or some of it a little bit deeper. R.A.S.P, you could easily think that. But they're all by the producer, Christopher Joseph. Okay, that's on his label, Flex Seal. Now let's oh yeah, let's well no, we'll come to that in a moment. This one is by New Jackson, and this is on All City. Oh. Now I know what my favourite one is on this. Actually, I'm going to the inside. David Kidd, the singer, and got a lot of. In fact, I think he was a member of the Tinder Sticks for a while, wasn't he? Oh, yeah, I think he was. So he's actually done a lot of stuff outside of what you'd say, what you call to be electronic music. But in recent years, this New Jackson project has really taken off for him. And he had an album in All City and a few singles as well. And he does this kind of vocoder stuff as well. Works well, works nicely in this. Personally, I prefer the vocoder stuff. He's got a quite distinctive voice, but yeah, I kind of like when he affects it a little bit more, I gotta say. We have records by Mika Vainio, the sadly recently deceased Mika Vainio. Now I'm not too sure how much material he had waiting in the wings, so you never know. This might be the last new material we hear from him. And it's on Electro Music Department. So it's got that grinding, kind of slightly possessed style. Mika Vainio was, one of the, true. I don't know, there's lots of stuff you could say about him. It's certainly one of the leading lights in experimental electronic music, whose stuff did sometimes find its way onto the dance floor, but not always. But certainly, if you saw him play or if you saw Pansonic play, it's definitely music that could make you dance. Just maybe not in the most conventional way, but a lot of his stuff was way ahead of its time. And in recent years he's put out quite a few albums as well. I like this one actually because it's kind of like a cross between it's some of it's a lot more aggressive, and then there's these kind of like very ultra minimal, kind of slightly creepy sort of tracks that just lurk. You don't know when they're going to kind of come at you. And that was one of the things. There's a real kind of randomness to a lot of Mika Vainio's stuff, and he has such a wealth of music that you can go back through now. It's just it's a shame he was in his 50s, but you know he obviously seemed like somebody that had a lot left in him. But yeah, terrible shame. There's a lot of stuff to go through here, so I'll just flick quickly. Right, so Mika Vainio. Yeah, that's not out long either, actually. This one is by special request, and it's on Houndstooth, and I'm pretty sure I played this before, so it's going to for jungle vibes. And there's quite a mixture though. Any of you that know special request stuff that will know that most of it is quite old school and of that era, but it does touch on a few different styles and tempos of the early 90s. It's actually the Electro tune on this that I like the most. It actually reminds me quite a lot of the kind of thing Luke Vibert would do, maybe. Yeah, you don't hear people use those speaking spells too much. Those sound cool. Dreamier there. Nice range of stuff there. For me, it's mostly about the Electro track on that, but I do like the others as well. Nice cover as well, actually. That one's on Houndstooth, special requests, as I said. Fuck, I'm after bringing the wrong... No, damn. Okay, I don't think I brought... yeah, I meant to bring the other analog. Oh, I did, yeah, okay. So this one is by Dimi Angelis, and it's by... it's on... bit of a banger. We've already had one by Dimi Angelis actually on this show so far, in this episode. Yeah, it's on Analog, who are a crew and a club night based in Athens. Cool group of techno folks. Just getting the Lee Kelly seal of approval and nod here as we play it. But yeah, it's a good one actually. Like I said earlier, Dimi is he's making some really good stuff at the moment. He's just firing out the records. And sometimes when people put out too much stuff, you're just like and the quality can kind of wane a little bit. But no, everything he's putting out is spot on at the moment. Certainly not. Yes, we're picking them all up actually. But yeah, Analog has slowly but surely been building up a nice little catalogue actually. Yeah, nice one for the open spaces, this one. Actually, could this be like a summer techno smash? And like well, it's not going to be a summer techno smash, but you know the way like you talk about summery records, we don't, unfortunately in techno, we don't kind of quite have that. We can't ever describe it as summery. But let's think of this as summery in another way. If you're in a field and this is kind of bellowing through, I don't know, bushes and trees and stuff, and I don't know. Maybe there is some summery in this. Yeah, no, maybe I'm just kidding myself, but yeah, unfortunately we don't enjoy summer vibes so much in techno the way everybody else does. We don't have music that's called summery, but who cares? Right, so that's that one. Actually, and I need somebody to do a little bit of homework for me. Maybe somebody can take this record from me, and I'll just. Do you want to check if that's actually a recent record or not? Someone gave it to me, but I don't know if it's. This one is by Marcus Sukkot. And here, maybe we have had some summery techno. Sorry, let's go back to that actually. Let's not just leave that. Maybe I was a little bit harsh in saying that. Maybe there is some summery techno out there. Maybe if we go back to classic Detroit stuff, maybe Knights of the Jaguar could be a summer smash. Maybe Blackwater by Octave One. But you know, a lot of those songs are tracks are few and far between, you know. But anyway, moving on to this Marcus Sukkot. Oh fuck, actually this isn't the right Marcus Sukkot one. I played this before on the no, I put this back in. Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, sorry. I do have one of them though. The other one, anyway, right. So this is a double pack by Marcus Sukkot. I've actually got quite a few of his records recently that I put another one in the double pack rather than. But we'll just work with what we have, which is one half of the Marcus Sukkot album on Odd Even. Yeah, Marcus Sukkot. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So, February. Doesn't do loads, but it's got a nice little tilting rhythm. I don't think I've ever described a rhythm as tilting, but I just did. Tilting, isn't it? Tilting away there. Yeah, and Marcus Sukkot's been doing a bit of acid stuff recently. Kind of jacking one there. An acid thing here again. It's a pity that I don't have the other one. In fact, I think the one that I don't have is the one that I was playing. So out of these two, so that's unfortunate because presumably my favourite ones were on the other record. But there you go. You know, I can't win them all. But that's Marcus Sukkot, and it's on a label called Odd Even. Now this one is on a label called Deep Tracks, and actually they're a seller on Discogs. And yeah, I just noticed after buying some records the other day that they had included this as well, and I didn't know the record, but I've checked it out, and it seems like it just came out this year actually, so why not include it in there? You know, it's like something straight out of the mid-90s, and in the best possible way. Oh, okay. And this is by a producer called Antonio, I think. The 69 to 85 connection, Antonio. I don't know who is who there. Is Antonio the producer? Or is the 6985 connection the producer? No, it would appear that Antonio's the producer. And this is on Deep Tracks. Nice little range of tunes in this actually. Chicago-y vibe off that one. Now onto the flip. Big rolling toms in that one. So yeah, all kind of quite old school sounding, but yeah, kind of like a long lost Detroit gem, this one. But then with a few absolute bangers then as well. It's crazy because you're going from nice to angry very quickly. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. So that one's on Deep Tracks. Now we'll move on. Yeah, and thanks guys for that one. This one is on Future Deja Vu. This you kind of know already what this is going to be about. Yeah. So, and that's the PBS remix there as well, and this is by Transience times 4 or X4. maybe the PVS one is on the other side, I'm not sure actually. Let's get a sequence. That actually isn't in the sleeve, it was meant to be, but yeah, it's a good one, and it's by Transience X4. Moving on to the next now. Let me see, I'll get some. Yeah, this one's by, who's it by actually? It's by Jason Loveland. It's on interdimensional transmissions, which is Exomorph's label as far as I know. Been doing stuff for, well, this label for sure, I've been doing stuff for quite a few years. Pretty sure it's Exomorph's label. Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I don't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Oh, actually, as well, apologies to Rennie Foster. I mentioned that you were American last time, and you're Canadian. I didn't know about that. Yeah, I saw him. The first record I got by Rennie Foster was on Sine Wave, so I kind of assumed he was American at that point, even though that shouldn't mean anything. But yeah, he's Canadian for the record. This was by Jason Loveland. Yeah, so many records now come back to the acid stuff, but it's interesting when you hear someone that does flips it just a little bit. Is there any remixes on this Trip Report mix? I don't know if that means Trip Report's an artist, or is it the mix, this Trip Report mix? This is all fine, but I think it's this one. Actually, I can't even remember what one I've been playing off this. It's been on the other side. But yeah, they're all yeah. Interdimensional transmissions. Going there. Right, moving on. Let's see, what will we pick out next? Oh, here's one by Ricardo Villalobos and Steve O'Sullivan. Actually, let me work on that sleeve. Here's one by Robert Armani. I don't believe I played this the last time. Did I? Actually, maybe I didn't. No, I didn't. Okay, so this is turning into the longest one we've done so far. It's looking like. Robert Armani, yeah, kind of acidy thing. Like, even though they sound like old tracks, I'm kind of under the impression that these might be new ones. ones. I think I read that they were new ones. I don't know. I don't know any of these ones. Like that sounds. There's no way that could be a new one. Unless he never hacked down the studio and he just started it the exact way that he used to make music years ago, because that seems like it's cut straight from the 90s. Sounds very familiar. So it was worth remembering too, people like DJ Sneak used to do records like this and tracks like this as well. But certainly the dawns of the kind of heavier kick drum style of this were Paul Johnson and DJ Sneak, or not DJ Sneak, Robert Armani at least. Yeah, the beauty of a lot of these tracks is that there's never, not loads to them, not loads of detail, but they just work. Real basement techno vibes. So, yeah, that's something we don't hear so much. You hear a lot about warehouse techno, don't you? Or at least it was a buzz thing there for a while, warehouse techno. But basement techno, yeah. Let's talk more about basement techno, maybe. This one is by Galaxia on Shipwreck. Some very nice artwork indeed. Yeah, and he does this kind of real steppy electro, sometimes it's quite pacey. Certainly for fans of Drvg, of Manasis, of, let me see, who else does this really pacey style? Capacity, actually. Stingray is who I meant to say actually rather than Drexia. On that one for sure. Now moving on, got one here from on London White, which is Carl Wild's label from London. Yeah, let's see. It's by V111. First vinyl release, I believe. Nice lead in this one, actually. on to the next side. Cressida, who we played something of on the last episode, I believe. So overall, a very banging 4-tracker here, but certainly not. Certainly with some strong lead sounds on all of it. This one's by Cressida. It's actually a little bit more straight ahead than the tracks he did on Voidloss. Thump off that one. And then one by Nur Jabber, who I played stuff by on this before as well. OSF, I think, is the name of her label. And the last one was particularly good, actually, by her. A bit more of a drum track here, but it kind of kicks off then about halfway through. Atmosphere there to round off that EP. Right, onto another Irish label here. This is on Lunar Disco. I'm just trying to see who's on what's. Yeah, John Heckle is opening up this side. And it's interesting when you put his head front panel stuff side by side with what he's doing here. It's two opposite ends of the spectrum, really. This is deep and lush and very musical. And then the head front panel stuff is by and large there to take your head off. Yeah, nice classic sound here, it's done really well. Yeah, all familiar elements, but put together in a very individual way. Little bits of slightly UR reminiscent there, actually. Yeah, moving on. Conan O'Donnell, and we actually have another record by Conan on this, which I'll play shortly. Conan tends to do, he does some fairly heavy stuff, but he's always been a big lover of Detroit techno in all its forms. And you can hear it coming through on this. Certainly sound a little bit more Derek May or Juan Atkins influence than it would Jeff Mills or somebody like that, who I know Conan would also be a big fan of. But yeah, really good one here. Good in jacking as well. So on to the next side. 214, who's been getting a lot of attention in the last couple of years, actually, and rightfully so. Good deep electro producer. Or good electro producer in general. I don't want to put him in a box, but a lot of stuff he does is on the deeper end. Probably the closest out there that does the convection sound, actually, as well. Obviously in electro, convection stuff has been some of the standout electro of the last 10 or so years, or what am I saying, longer than that. ERP at least. Convection, I guess, is a little bit more of a techno project. ERP, I mean. But yeah, 214 stuff can be not far off that, actually, in style as well. Now, to close it off then is VC 1188. A bit slower. One for at home rather than the clubs, maybe. is actually another. There's another one. VC118A actually had an album on Lunar Disco, and I remember that being the first time I'd heard of him. But he's done some stuff. He's done a bunch of stuff since then. Maybe if the album had come out a little bit later on Lunar Disco, might have got more attention actually. But yeah, there's another one in that series actually you should watch out for. Okay, this is another one that sounds quite slow, but if I put it to 45 it won't sound right probably. Yeah, it doesn't. This is the Silent Servant remix. Then again, he does do stuff that's kind of a little bit slower nowadays. Let's check the other though. Yeah. And these are remixes of Rodhad actually on Dystopian. This one is the Donato Dozzi remix. Smart one from Donato Dozzi. Now let's see who's on the other side of this. Oh shit! Oh no! Yeah. Faze and Porter Ricks are on the other side. Yeah, you can hear the bass is pushed there a lot. It might remind you a little bit of that. Was it the Faze remix of Robert Hood's a Music Man from a few years back? But you can kind of hear Faze definitely has a special technique in how he pushes the bass pressure. It's like he's pushing it beyond where it's meant to go, but it kind of gives it just this extra bit of pressure. Like I said, you can hear it in there as well. The bass is audible for sure, but it's a kind of a combination between the physical and audible bass. It's subtle but effective. And here's a Porter Ricks remix. Moving on a bit of a comeback trail recently. Right, so that one's on Dystopian. Yeah, not bad that one. Pretty good. Moving on, Remco Beekval. Actually, I'll get one that's open here. Let's see, this one. Yeah, this one is on Riot Records. This is by Subhead. We might need to start upping the pace now. We want to hit the 3 hours maybe. Good mixture of tunes on this one. Actually, sorry, this isn't the Subhead one, but it's on the same label. It's a bunch of remixes coming from where are all the... Well, Engine is on it, but hang on a second. Where's the names of all the remixers? I know Paul Burke. Yeah, Lag, Martin Hare, Paul Birkin, Duelist, and the Riot remix. Engine involved there. And this one is by Engine. The EP, the original track is. That's on Riot Records. Some pretty nasty stuff on that. Let's see. So, let's see, which one is this? Yeah, and this one is by Subhead actually. Which is just Jason Leach now. stuff from him. He never really lost it actually. He disappeared for a while and put out the odd record here and there, but yeah, this is the most tracks I've seen him put on a record in a while. It's on Riot Records, as I said. And actually, a good thing about, or something you should look out for with Jason Leach, he runs a company called And Vinely, and basically, if you have a relative who doesn't want their ashes put in a bowl or in a whatever they put it in, or scattered out over near Hout or whatever, or put in their body put in a coffin and stuff like that, what you can do is you can actually get the ashes and have them pressed into a record, so you can pick the music you want to put on it, what type of vinyl you want to put on, and when they actually make up when they're actually pressing the records, the ashes actually get put into get put into the record, and the name of that thing is called And Vinely, is the name of that company. Yeah, and shouldn't be surprised if someone like Jason Leach was behind that kind of idea. Certainly there's a weird darkness to a lot of his music. Yeah, so that one's Jason Leach. Next up, oh yeah, here's one by Jerome Hill. This is part of a two-part series actually called Toy Box. This is part one. I saw Jerome actually comment recently that his music was being described somewhere as old school or something like that, and he was kind of begging the question as to why is this called old school? And yeah, I would have to say the same as well. He's a distinctive sound, and actually his stuff has got really well produced, especially over the last, actually for a good few years now. It was never bad, but it's definitely got better and better. It's very clean, it's very good to DJ with. Yeah, but I don't hear anything old school about that at all. I just hear something that's maybe a little bit more daring in places and has okay, there's a bit of a break, yeah. Possibly the only sort of old school leaning track on that EP of 4. But yeah, that's it can be a frustration sometimes if your music is described as old school or 90s sounding. It kind of makes it can appear like you're just rehashing old ideas. But I think Jerome always, even if he is doing that, he always does it in an interesting or fun way. He's definitely someone that enjoys a good bass line. Always right to the fore in his tracks. This one is by Blush Response, and this one is on Sonic Groove. Yeah, this is actually another one a lot of people were asking about recently to name check. That's Blush Response. Blush Response, you might know from his releases on Aufnahme und Wiedergabe as well. This is his first one on Sonic Groove, which is seems like a fairly good home for him as well, suitable home at least. And now about the first one on the other side, though, for me anyway. So let's see where are we at. This is one I got here called. It's by DJ Nike. DJ Nike, is that right? DJ Nike and Tina 303. Acidy thing. Kind of. No, actually it wasn't. Ish. Oh, there we are now. Squealing top riff and underlying deeper acid line. That's on Morbid Records. And in true record shop fashion, we're having a good old-fashioned dispute here at the desk, but we'll hopefully won't be able to hear exactly what's been said. I don't know what's been said. I might ask afterwards, but it seems to be a bit of a dispute about something going on here. But yeah, that's what record shops are all about, I suppose. Right, this one is by maybe I don't need to know what this is about actually. Anyway, yeah, so this one is by Remco Beekwilder, and this one is, I don't know if I've got his name right, but he's putting out some good stuff at the moment actually. This one is on Dax J's label, and here lads, just buy a few raffle tickets, alright? Just fucking get it back on track here, okay? No need to be arguing, okay? Right. So, don't forget we will be announcing the winners and giving out the raffle prizes very soon. I know you're looking forward to that. It's called the LSD EP, I think. Yeah, I think the first one on the other side is one for me anyway. Good big room techno in the Dutch way, I think. Right, so let's moving on. This one is by Controls. Again, I had to think back to think that have I played this on the show? And sorry, I don't actually have the correct cover with me today, and that's because I've been playing it a bit. Sometimes when you play stuff and you're putting it back afterwards, they don't get into the right sleeves, and then the real sleeve goes somewhere else. But this has been one of my favourite kind of mixing techno records of the last while. I love all of control stuff, actually. Danish producer, who's one half of Northern Structures as well. Actually, are Northern Structures still a duo, or is it the other guy now on his own? I'm not 100% sure, but they started out as a duo anyway, and doing records in Sonic Groove. But a while later, then Control set up this new alias. Yeah, he's a very original style of the kind of more DJ friendly kind of producers, you could say that, in the kind of harder end of techno. It's definitely one of my very favourites. If you ever have a problem opening a record, you need to break the seal on it. Sometimes it can be easy to go at it with your fingernail and stuff like that, but it's one of the first things you learn in a record shop when you start, and it's not only in a record shop you learn it, but it's to just grab your t-shirt or whatever you're wearing and put it across the top of the record, and that will break the seal, and it's usually does it quite cleanly. I don't even know why I'm saying that, but sometimes it can go a little bit nasty when you're trying to open them. You end up tearing the actual sleeve itself. So that's Controlled. Like I said, that one's on Token. Next up is a producer called Patrick Conway. Not to Simon now, but yes, Patrick Conway is this guy. Steppy Pangea remix in this. First one there was definitely a lot more early 90s sounding. Let me see. Dubby offering here, a little bit more dance floory than the other original tune in this. This is Patrick Conway, as I said. Yeah, this is nice actually, the way it breaks into this. It takes a while to get there now, that's the only thing. Like personally, you know, that's a hell of an intro until you get to this. But no, it works well for alongside. Looks like one of our cameras might actually go, so I'm gonna have to do a bit of a MacGyver on this and get it in for 3 hours, I suppose. Where are we at now? Okay. Sorry, this is behind the scenes stuff I shouldn't really be talking about. here, but just letting you in on all of it. Why not? Right, so we'll. Yeah, so it's not a bad one for me. It's about this one and maybe the Pangea one, and as well, if you don't want to wait for all of this, just go here and start the track from there. That could be an idea. So let's go to the next. Steve O'Sullivan and Ricardo Villalobos. Let's see, I think both of these tunes are them together actually. And this is on Mosaic, which is Steve O'Sullivan's long-running label. He's doing stuff back in the 90s on this. So stripped back stuff, but nice subtle use of vocals here. Kind of drop in and drop out. Okay, so it's essentially just a variation of the other, yeah, Sulric and then Sulric deeper dub. So yeah, it's like a lot of Villalobos' stuff of this style. Anyway, it seemed quite understated on first listen, but that's the kind of stuff that really comes alive when you play it out. I wasn't always a huge Villalobos fan, I gotta say, but I began to like his stuff more over the years. Like for instance, when he did a lot of the Perlon stuff, I really wasn't into that back then. But then there'd be like remixes here and there. And actually, I remember a friend of mine, Cailin, one time on a radio show, and he knew I didn't like Ricardo Villalobos, and he played something on my radio show, and I think I was like kind of moving my head to it, and whatever tune it was, I remember it kind of had this like the sound of water actually going through it. It was quite inventive. And Cailin was like, "Oh, you like that one, do you?" And I said, "Yeah, it's good." And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's Villalobos." So yeah, it's kind of caught out there because it's kind of when you're a bit younger as well. You just, if you don't like someone, it's just like, no, I hate them. That's it. That's the end of it. I'll never ever like their music, you know. But actually, he does some good stuff. Have to hand it to him, man. And I've got to there's some of his older stuff I like, and then probably some of the more recent stuff in the last 5 or 10 years. He's actually been making less in recent years, but he has been popping up a little bit more over the last maybe 3, 4, 6 months. Yeah, nice for me anyway. Good kind of early night stuff, or maybe somewhere to take a set and just drop it into a little bit of a lull. But Mosaic is always a good bet. Steve O'Sullivan's label. So let's see. To the next one. Did I play? Yeah, Frankie Bones. I don't think I played this Frankie Bones one before. Yeah, going back to the Villalobos thing again, should be moving on, but obviously he's done the majority of his stuff probably on Perlon, but I think it was that triple pack. It was kind of that era where he was putting out a new Perlon every week. He was kind of, in a sense, like the DJ Rush of his era. Like DJ Rush was one of the completely different styles, but it was kind of like whatever they made, the label would just fire straight out. So, and that's what the kind of relationship Rush used to seem to have with DJs back in the day, and it's kind of the relationship Villalobos seemed to have with Perlon. It was almost like anything he made just got put out. But anyway, back onto this. Frankie Bones, another guy who it's good to see back. These are new Bones Breaks records. I don't know if there's a little bit of recycling of some old ones he did, because obviously there is a lot of recycling in his style to start with, but it's just some of these you're kind of wondering, did he just make them, or were they ones that were knocking around from before? No, I think some of them are new ones. I think. Similar to Freddie Fresh earlier, a man with a lot of history, a lot of stories, and actually I'd recommend listening to his R.A. Exchange. One of the, I've only heard a few of them, but I'd say it would take a lot to beat his. The artwork one is meant to be quite good, actually I haven't heard that one yet, but the Frankie Bones one is great. All sorts of history and stories in that one, you know, really, really good. Gotta say, the Carl Cox one was abysmal, really, really bad, and no offense to whoever did that with him, but Jesus, you missed a trick there. There was so much stuff you could have asked him about in that, and instead it was just all based on Ibiza and space, the kind of shit that none of us really care about that much, because it's all been happening in our, you know, we all know that, it's all, if you want to go to Ibiza you can go there, do you know what I mean? But if you're going to spend the whole thing talking about your brand in Ibiza and not talking very little about the 90s, about his actual, I don't know, that was such a missed opportunity, that one. It's a shame, because it's a really good series, that, but I thought the Carl Cox one was very, very disappointing, actually, gotta say. But yeah, so much stuff we could have been asked, but anyway, missed opportunity. Maybe they'll do another one with it. Actually, there was one or two things though, just about his early thing, Carl Cox, and actually in some ways I piece Carl Cox and Frankie Bones together, because there is a link, certainly from Frankie Bones' early days of DJing, that he would have crossed paths a lot with Carl Cox, and they would have been two people that respected each other a lot. So when you hear Frankie Bones one next to Carl Cox's, but some of the stuff with, about Cox was very interesting, actually, just about that he was actually a mobile DJ, and he brought some of his like his equipment out, and he rented a sound system out to people and all this kind of thing. But yeah, that's, I don't know, when it comes to these older guys, that's the kind of stuff you want to hear, you know. Not about their latest you know, venture in Ibiza. For me anyway, to me that's not particularly interesting. So it's Frankie Bones. This one is by DLMS and it's on Trust Records. The Frankie Bones one was on Musique pour la Dawn. I'm not going to try and pronounce that again, I'm just going to hope I got away with it. So Electro one here on Trust Records. I should start flying through these a bit more now. Stuff slightly on the darker side, maybe not too dissimilar to something that might have come out on Touch and Bass, Dre Parker's label. Right, moving on now. This is the return of the Mover. Well, these are all old tracks by the Mover, obviously. Frontal Sickness, that's one of them here. So they're all remastered versions of old tracks of his, some of which you might know already. And these have come out on Bode, is that how I say it? Which is it's one of my personal favourites by him. I'm not sure if I've spoken about this before. The Mover is he's an innovator. He's a hardcore techno innovator. He's from Frankfurt. Did most of his landmark releases from the beginning of the 90s through to the mid 90s. By late in the 90s, or maybe it was a little bit after that, actually, he kind of got caught up with Scooter for a while. Yeah, and he kind of went down the hard dance route a little bit. So people who a lot of people know Mark Cardapane from his from kind of slightly more commercial sort of stuff, or from his hard dance stuff. But if you go back a little bit in time and what he did up to the mid 90s, he very much led the way. Actually, if you go onto his Discogs page as well, look for PCP or look for The Mover, and you will see one of the biggest discographies going. He's got like a serious amount of aliases. So we've arrived. Okay, so anyway, that's a kind of a best of sort of our remastered classics thing that he put out. Okay, so we're running out of time here, so I might have to skip through some things. Maybe keep them for another day. Yeah, I think I will. So let's move on here a bit. What can we afford to kill? Yeah, we can afford to kill a few of those. One's by Blue Hour, which actually is really has that kind of Samuel L. Sessions early 2000s style to it. It's kind of like that affected finger clap kind of thing going on as well. But yeah, tribally vibes from him. He's doing that quite well. There's not many others that are doing that sound at the moment. Something you could probably hear some house DJs play here and there as well, maybe slow down a little bit more, has that nice loose kind of tribal rhythm. Obviously from the Jeff Mills school of techno, but yeah, with a nice subtle. Okay, so now where are we at? Conan O'Donnell, let's get Conan in here. Zero Fucks is the name of the label, but it's also the producer name he's been using too. But now he's exclusively, well, no, he's is he going to be Zero Fucks again, or is he going to be Conan O'Donnell? Who knows? But for now, he's Conan O'Donnell. He's using his real name for spaced out kind of stuff on the harder end. But yeah, it's just nice to hear. Interesting kind of sounds and atmospheres.
No destiny.
Detroit Electro sort of vibe there. Moving on to the flip. This intro and then this kind of noisy jacker. So we're going to be doing the raffle now in about 10 minutes. So if you want to get ready for that, we're going to be giving out these lovely prizes. So we're doing the draw soon, yeah. Letting the guys know there. See Olin's ears pricking up there, mention of the raffle. Yeah, damn right, everyone wants that Blue Nun, even though it's in the new school bottle. nice stuff from Conan there. Right, let's see what we can. Oh, here's one by I Hate Models. And another guy called Vittorio Di Mango. I think this is the Vittorio Di Mango side, is it? You'll need to check that one out. It's on Negrito Edition. That's the name of the label, I think. I think this is the I Hate Model side. Kind of sounds like something from the era of the Gigolo era, the early 2000s or 2000 or so. Almost like something Dave Torita or Richard Bartz or somebody would have made. Now this is the Vittorio Di Mango one, so certainly a slightly retro, slightly EBM-y sort of feel to that one. Which is obviously quite popular at the moment. This one is on Voitax and it's by Rory St. John, great producer from Dublin, who's now over in Berlin. Yeah, on the flip then. Yeah, it's good actually with the Voitax ones. They're all on the heavier, kind of gloomier side, but each record kind of has its own identity. It's not the exact same sound for every one. There's I guess that's because they're getting different producers each time. But yeah, there's a good range of stuff. So that's a bit angrier or distorted. So moving on. This one is on Schemer Records, which is BPMF's label. A member of Prototype 909. There's a tune there's on this, although this one is by BPMF. Some nice rhythms and sounds. This one is by Rhizome, which is also him actually. Hang on, let's get that straight. Oh no, the first one was by DJ RX5. This one is by Jason BPMF. Yeah. There's a few lock grooves on that too, but let's go into the flip. And we've got a Prototype 909 one, which is possibly an old one. They probably have a lot of stuff knocking around. Prototype 909 was BPMF, the guy I'm telling you about, Dietrich Schoeman and Taylor Dupree. And then finishing off is one by Dietrich Schoeman as well, which is possibly an old one. Yeah, it's kind of in that, it's sort of from that Vogel Landstrom kind of era that we were talking about earlier, the sort of Justin Berkovi kind of thing. But yeah, this one's by Dietrich Schoeman, who remember did records on Sonic Groove back then as well. What was the label? What was the thing? Polaris was that? Can't remember the name he went under, but he would have done stuff like this back then. I'm assuming this is an old tune. Yeah, nice one there. And yeah, if you like that, you might like the Ibrahim Alpha one played earlier as well. So let's see, where are we at? Here's one on Here's one on Vanilla from Athens, which is Amps label. And Mora has actually, now it's M-O-R-A-H, by the way. It's not Mora in the kind of Mora that we know. The lady's name Mora. It's which would be M-A-U-R-A. Yeah, this one, I gotta say, it's not my favourite Mora record, and it's not my favourite Vanilla records either. It's solid, but it's far from my favourite on that label. This one also could work at both BPMs, but yeah, it would certainly do some damage in a club in the right environment, but yeah, for me maybe not my favourite on that so far. This one is by Jan Cook, and it's on Planet Rhythm. He gets a fair bit of stuff out actually, Jan Cook. Probably a little bit underrated actually, especially considering the amount of good stuff he gets out. Yeah, a little bit riffier this one. So there we go, and then the other side. Tule, but with some kind of 808s hopping in and out as well, which is nice. He actually does some good electro. I've heard one or two more electro-y kind of tracks he's done before, which I really liked. This one's a little bit more on the straighter techno side, but yeah, nice detailed kind of stuff. Right, so there we go. Moving on to Mystic Bill, guy that's been going for a long time actually. Smoother kind of lower BPM stuff here. Let's do this swing to it. To the last 15 minutes. I wonder, is Tim only just saying this because he wants this to end in 15 minutes and get out of here? Is it? Do you want to miss the? Do you want to like get out of here before the traffic kind of starts? Is it, or is there? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, it looks like we're yeah. So. Now let's see on the flip, and there's one particular one on this. Oh yeah, this lad. Yeah, this is the one that has the pressure. Saying earlier about jams, sometimes you just strike goals. I think this is kind of one of those. It's just right in this one. A little bit like an old Robert Armani tune or something, actually. pick is a little bit boxier though, I think, a bit more standard 909. But yeah, it's a good one. Mystic Bill. Yeah, and he's had some other bits and pieces before, alright, I think. So now, Boston 168, sorry, I was getting distracted here now as we're coming to the end. Hang on a sec. Yeah, a good bit of atmosphere, and then that kind of Emmanuel top kind of acid underneath, which seems to be all the rage at the moment. Well, certainly there's a lot of people going back to some of those records, but maybe newer stuff. Yeah, Boston 168 seems to do that kind of thing pretty well. But this is another style now entirely, a little bit. Overtones to that. Let me see. Oh shit, I'll do that. A little bit hard floor-esque actually, the bill there. Nice job by them. That's on Enemy, which is Dustin Zan's label. Or no, was that one? Yeah, that one was on Enemy. Yeah. There's another Boston 168 one there, but we're gonna have to give that a miss. And if I'm gonna actually put a few of these ones by till next time. Oh yeah, here's Ancient Methods. We can't not play Ancient Methods, I don't think. Let's see. This one is on Candela Rising. And this features 4 different vocalists actually. Azar Swan, Huron from Testy, Tropic of Cancer, and Xanius. So 4 different tracks. With Michael working a bit more the vocals, which you don't hear too often in his tracks, if at all actually. But some people obviously would have liked that Nico, what would you call it, Nico tribute track that he did a while back. So yeah, so maybe this is carrying that on a little bit actually, except with fresh material, with modern artists that he's actually directly working with. Shouty, not overly fast one either. Assuming that's the Huron one, is it? This is on Candela Rising, and this comes on clear vinyl. There is a black vinyl version as well, but obviously you're gonna probably get the clear one because it's slightly fancier. Now let's see. Yeah, we should play something by this person, Janice, and this is on a label called Janice. Yeah, kind of snarling kind of bass. And there's a collaboration here with Bill Youngman as well. So Janice, this is the third release so far. Seems to be set up as a kind of mysterious producer and label. Some people will know who it is, but it's yeah, kind of a cross between a few sounds there. I think this is the one with Bill Youngman actually. Seems to be the joint on this. So we're coming down to to the wire now. So let me see. So yeah, so in short, I really go through the records a lot slower when I'm doing it in the shop. So maybe we'll do the raffle, the draw now. And yeah, do you want to do the raffle? Does anyone want to buy some last minute raffle tickets before we do this? There's some, yeah. A bottle of wine, a bottle of sherry, and a deluxe box of Ferrero Rocher. I don't know if they're called deluxe, but we'll call it deluxe box of Ferrero Rocher. Defect here. Distinctive sound. If people don't know Defect by now, you're probably hearing a lot more of them. You're going to be hearing a lot more of them over the next while. And there's lots of different stuff actually. There's electro stuff, various types of techno, various types of electro actually as well. This is kind of like his sort of distinctive, slightly acidic style of electro. Now on the flip you've got Sync 24 and Privacy. Straight ahead here. And actually in cultivated electronics you rarely hear a tune that's kind of straight ahead 4/4 beat, but hearing it here and there they might go. Yeah, nice way to end it there. And that's what we're going to be doing in a moment as well. Let's see what we got here. How many can I fit in? Oh yeah, we've literally 5 minutes here. Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah, I think I have to just accept that I can only play about 2 more records. Actually, and Don't Be Afraid. This is by Jason Winters. Literally flying through them now, so we're not going to really get much more plays at this point. Maybe 2 more after this, if we're lucky. Broken bass there. Slower, a bit deeper there, and then on the flip. Yeah, I like Don't Be Afraid actually. There's a good range of stuff on this, and they definitely keep themselves on the deeper side of the fence a lot as well, which is good, but always still quite dance floory. So we're nearly there. That one's by Jason Winters, who the name seems familiar, but then again I don't know if I have. Maybe it's not familiar. This one now is on Fine Work, and it's by Dave Tarita. Okay, so we're doing the raffle now. And the winner of the Ferrero Rocher deluxe box of Ferrero Rochers is the number is 54. Who got 54? Did you? Okay, great. I have a feeling this guy's going to clean up and get everything. Actually, you got a load of tickets there. Okay, they're yours. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well done. Good stuff. Right now, this is it's arguable as to which is the top prize here, but it's tough shit. It's the Blue Nun is second place, okay? The Sherry's the top prize. So, oh yeah, here, who's, oh yeah, hang on. Let me see. 6. 6 is the Blue Nun. Who? Wait, does anyone have number 6 here? Who has it? Oh, Matt. Defects got it. Yeah, well done to you. Congrats. Right, okay, and now the big one. Now, I know you've been waiting for this for the last nearly 3 hours now. The suspense. Who's going to get it? Let's see. And the winner of the Winter's Tale bottle of sherry, top prize, number 40. Did you get it? Oh, he got it as well. Ah, come on, man. Really, I had a feeling he was going to get it as well. Did he get it? Oh, Fionn got it. Sorry, I thought it was someone. I thought it was the same guy. Okay, Fionn got it. Okay, well, I'm happy with that. Yeah, well done, Fionn. And he was outside there. Wait, were you waiting the last 3 hours for this? Oh, yeah. Well done, Fionn. Congratulations. Yeah, well done, man. Don't drop it there. Yeah, cool. Nice one. Okay, cool. Well done, Fionn. A very deserving winner there. Great to see. This is the last one. No, I'll tell you what the last one is. Okay, and the last one's going to be this Cassegrain record, which has a Peter Mannerfeld and a shifted remix. But I think, as everybody knows, like as good and all as those remixes are, this record has been all about the. Oh yeah, that's the Bias Schmidt side. The other one was the Dave Terida side. But yeah, three excellent remixes on this. But as we've got no time, I'm just going to go straight to the pick. Again, another record people have been asking about recently, and this is the Mover, who we were talking about earlier. This is yeah, maybe one of the tracks of the year, certainly Electro track of the year, without doubt. One of the best remixes of the year. Till next time, thanks to everyone. Let's play. Okay, so big shout out to all the All City crew here for being part of this. It's great to do this here, and it's the perfect environment for this kind of thing. Thanks to everyone that came in here today, and yeah, until next time, thanks a lot for viewing and listening and all that kind of thing. Talk to you then. See you next time. Bye.